Bring in the floor show and our traders at the New York Stock Exchange and the CME Group. Matt Cheslock, what do you think is going on behind closed doors at the Federal Reserve right now?
Well, I can't imagine the Federal Reserve can get out of this. They've been jawboning for so long about these rate increase environment that we're going to be in. If they, in fact, stop or slow it down, what does that say about bowing to President Trump's wishes? So I think it would be a crisis of confidence if they don't continue to do it. So they are a bit between a rock and a hard place here, and that's not what the market wants to hear. Definitely doesn't want any kind of confusion on this matter. We like nice, steady, measured moves, and who knows if we're going to get one at this point.
We have seen the Fed funds futures. This is where the guys in the pits over at the CME bet the odds, right? The odds, Larry Shover, of a rate hike, and the next one is in December that we are expecting. It's been wavering around 80%, but have you seen any movement there? Because right now we see it at 77%. What does that tell you? Anything?
No, it doesn't tell me a whole lot. I think it has been higher. I've seen it as high as 90% actually. And I think consensus is throwing their hands up saying we're going to see 2 rate hikes, December and March. If we don't see inflation up higher, if we don't see a rebasing of GDP, it's going to be really hard for the Fed to go any further with rate hikes. So I think mid-year, that's going to stop. The important thing, and something most people aren't talking about, is that the U.S. Treasury is paying $1.5 billion a day in interest cost alone. What that's doing is it's creating this dynamic where they're sensitive to what the FOMC does. And that's not supposed to happen. I believe that's going to be a structural component of the economy that's going to cause the Fed to pause perhaps sooner than they want to pause.
Scott Bauer, we are looking at incredible intraday pictures here, starting low and scratching all the way back up. This isn't a small move here. The NASDAQ, which is now down just 5 points. I never like to say this because then, of course, I jinx it, but could we see it pump into positive territory after having been down 208 points? Is that, do you think, because there is some slight belief or at least hope? And I'm not sure that we should not raise rates because we're not in an emergency situation anymore where we need these incredibly low rates. But do you think that the Federal Reserve is starting to reconsider?
No, I don't think the rally back today or whether the NASDAQ, punches into positive territory today has anything to do with rates. I think, we saw just the major selling and a great buying opportunity today. Now, I wouldn't say that volatility is over with, Liz. And that being said, I don't think that the Fed is going to bow down to President Trump. I don't believe that they will acquiesce to his thoughts of rates not having to go up. I do believe they do need to go up. Now, that being said, something that's very interesting that really hasn't been publicized much yet is there are 3 open positions on the Federal Open Market Committee. 3 positions for President Trump that he can put into place over the next few months. So if he really wants to, he can start handpicking, hand-selecting some dovish representatives, perhaps, to go into those spots that would then, possibly mediate some of the hawkish comments, some of the hawkish feeling of the Fed right now. But in the near future here, no, I do not see the Fed bowing down to President Trump.
Matt Cheslock, as we finish up, what do you think is at the heart of this market comeback? It's been a while since I've seen this big a market comeback in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, we've tried a couple times to rally. We've failed over the course of the day. Today we have a little turnaround Tuesday. We've had the opposite of what's going on. And I think a lot of it was just an overextension on the sell side. Caterpillar was just getting unfairly, just punished after their earnings.
Amen.
Yeah, and there's been some other good ones. Verizon, McDonald's, they were both good. So there are some bright lights on the horizon here, and I think people are starting to realize, this may be a time.
I got to tell you, I'm looking at Caterpillar. I cannot believe it's still down 6.75%. But one other thing that Scott Minerd had said yesterday, I like buying stocks on sale. I call that a sale. All right, Matt, Larry, Scott, good to see you. Folks, we are watching every tick of what appears to be a significant comeback.